Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, January 29, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, 2026. We'll be having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tomorrow night, Friday, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable position. Still as a statue, no outside distraction. Relaxed into your body, focusing on your breath, your natural breath of rising and falling. You have nothing to lose except the dream that you have something to lose. Jeff Foster. Nothing matters so much that we should throw ourselves into a state of panic about it. No happening is so important that we should let ourselves be exiled from inner peace and mental calm for its sake. Paul Brunton. When you become really clear inside yourself, you realize that there is nothing to worry about. You see that this universe is pure intelligent energy in physical form. It ensures that everything you need will happen and everything unnecessary will not. The events, people, and situations that must manifest are all part of your divine schedule. Let yourself really feel into this experience of feeling 100% free from worry. For just 30 seconds, let it sink deeply into your bones, rest inside your heart. You are always being provided for and taken care of by a higher power that is tending to your future on every level. Nothing is by accident or coincidence, because an all-intelligent universe simply cannot make mistakes. Our job is to relax and trust in this and be grateful for every lesson we are given. Enjoy the journey much as we possibly can to the very end. We all want to let go and trust that there is a divine intelligence behind the scenes running the bigger show. With complete trust, we never need to worry again. We can relax knowing this higher intelligence is always there, making sure that we receive exactly what is needed so our greatest potential can come through. When the violin can stop worrying about the future, it will become such a drunk, laughing nuisance that God will then lean down and start combing you into his hair. Hafiz. Worrying is the warning light that goes on when your mind has taken control. When you start worrying, you will then know that your mind has taken control. And whenever we are captured by worry, instead of letting go into complete trust in this life, this higher intelligence is still there, guiding the greater plan. We can even stop believing that there is an all-loving force leading us. And we will still continue to receive a vast variety of experiences that cause us to dive deeper into the core of our being. When we let worry take control, it simply means we believe every little fearful thought that the mind is thinking. We start accepting the idea that we are small, powerless, limited beings, and stop trusting in divine intelligence. Our divine intelligence, pure consciousness, the God. The highest path to awakening in life is all about honoring our real manifesting power from within, which is what we are gravitating to. Worry comes from ignoring our inner guidance and not wanting to stop and truly hear the clear life direction it is giving. All those worried thoughts blind us from knowing that we are infinite beings with divine manifesting power. Worrying is simply a fear-based habit that gives you spiritual amnesia. It causes you to forget how deeply and intimately connected you are to your soul's path and destiny. It makes you unaware of the divine, powerful energy that is pouring love through you all the time. Now, if and when you get curious about your worrying habits, you will become more aware whenever you are in them. Through awareness, you will transcend the worry habit and open the door to trust. The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained liberation from the self. Albert Einstein. Through trusting this universal flow, a spiritual path begins to reveal itself right in front of you every day. You understand that there is a bigger spiritual plan to your life, a greater source of joy to be experienced, and a deeper purpose to your existence. You start to really relax, let go of control, and trust in the divine universal flow. Through focusing on 100% trust, you can see how a divine intelligence is behind every single thought, action, and physical thing. The egoic agenda soon loses its power and importance. The quieter, more all-knowing, intuitive mind steps in. In this space, you can hear your soul's guidance pouring through your heart in every new moment. On this path, to free from fear, to be free from fear, you might notice that no matter how many times you try not to worry, your mind still returns to its old habits again and again and again. This is because one cannot permanently stop this type of deep, fearful pattern with pure mental force and willpower. There is only one thing we can do to stop the worry habit permanently forever. This is to take a higher spiritual path that transcends the mind entirely. You leave the mind alone. This is what we do in these meditations. This is done by realizing the infinite truth of who and what you really are. A soul that will never ever die and cannot be touched by anything of this world. When you see how amazingly big, bright, brilliant, and loving you actually are, the mind becomes a bit embarrassed by all the ridiculous things it was worrying about and starts paying more attention to the divinity inside. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. So, it always comes down to, for every one of us, choice, right? You make a choice. You feel instead of think. This is how you leave the mind alone. Leave the mind alone as much as you can. See, in this meditation, we go into silence. You're in the now. You're focused on your breath rising and falling. You're relaxed into your body. You're as still as a statue. Okay? You leave the ego mind alone. It can't follow you into the now. It can't. It cannot follow you into the now. And you're not running from it at all. You want to learn from it. And the only way to learn from it is to step outside of it. And the only way to step outside of it is in the now. And to practice being in the now is a daily, every day, all the time. Practice being in the now, all the time. Practice being in deep appreciation and gratitude, all the time. Not once in a while, but all the time. Not incessantly, not being obsessed with it, is what I say. But just a natural process, a natural occurrence. It just comes into you. You just say, I'm deeply grateful for this very moment I'm in. I'm in deep appreciation. It's interesting because we do, all of us, none of us are exempt from it. You take things for granted because they seem minuscule, right? They don't seem really big. We just are in habit and we just take them for granted. It's like I've talked to people who lost their one hand or both hands. They never thought about what would it be like if you didn't have hands, and what would be the challenges. And then they realized how much they take for granted, and they don't take anything for granted anymore. Nothing. Your eyesight, we take that for granted. We look and we see and we view, but we don't tend to it. See what I mean? We don't tend to it. We take it for granted until something occurs that draws our attention to it. Isn't that right? That's what happens. Something that occurs that draws our attention to it. Same with your legs. I've talked to people that lost both legs. They didn't realize how much they took their legs for granted. It's amazing because of all the distractions that we have in this life, right? This is the life we're in. And all the outside interference and all the things that we have been taught with and the information that we've been filled up with and, how we perceive things, how we look at things. And not knowing that we're omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant beings that never die in these bodies. It doesn't dawn on us that we're the ones. We are the ones. Nothing else is. One might say, well, what is this power above us all? It's a collective consciousness. It is a culmination of all the gods in all existence and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, forever. That's what that is, see? And what our God says, the God that you are within that body, you can plug into that at any time. In fact, you're already plugged in. You just don't know it. Now, one might say, well, maybe that's because our ego mind, because it'd be an absolute zoo if we were to have access in ego mind state and not heart mind state. And we start to compare and we realize that, it would not be a good idea to be in that awareness in ego mind state at all, because of the fact that ego mind is so insecure, and ego mind believes it's in charge, and it's supposed to lead us, and it's on and on and on and on. It's never satisfied, always wants. It breeds fear, anxiety, stress, worry. It breeds all that. The ego mind does, and it's all illusion. Okay. Now you imagine when you're not aware of that the ego mind is controlling you and directing you. It can become pretty frustrating, right? That's when someone might say, They'll say, why is this life treating me the way it is? What did I do to deserve this kind of crap? And many times that I've sat with people and they've brought that up, they believe that they did something or they're being punished for the events that they're experiencing in their life. And they're not. They're creating it. But they don't know that. That's blank. So where does the mind go? It seeks outside of itself that there's something that's dogging them, that is constantly on them and bringing in all of this disruption. And they become more and more and more frustrated. They go lower and lower vibrational frequency, and then they create more of the same stuff year after year after year. But it's the awareness. We're talking about it right now. We're halfway there. Anybody who listens to this meditation on a daily basis, anybody who participates in it live, that's not a happenstance. That's because they're drawn to become more aware of who and what they are. And they feel it, and they know it, that this is the only way. Many things have been tried throughout the ages. It didn't work. Okay? And then the ego mind comes in and tells you, oh, it's too complicated. Oh, it doesn't do anything. Why did I do it? Meditation, forget it. That's for tree huggers. And in actuality, it's for all of us. Doesn't matter what your so-called lot in life is, or what you've created for yourself. The meditation teaches us to leave the ego mind alone so that we can watch it, learn from it, master it through the heart mind, and then we afford it peace. Finds peace within, and then it no longer exists. That's the whole reason it's there. Most of us don't get there. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, of course, because we have that challenge of amnesia. And one might say, what would happen even if I was to remember the life I had before this one? What would that help me? Most likely, yes. But in ego mind, it would be very detrimental. Okay? So maybe it is a good thing while we're in ego mind that we don't have access to past life. Some of us do. Not all of them, but some of them. Some people will pass and they remember, and then they come into another life, and then they remember that past life that they left. Okay. Some people have even gone as far as met their kids that they had from that past life. Talked with them, remember things and so on, to identify. But the interesting thing about that, past lives are for our edification. They're for you. You created them. You view them. Right? You learn from them. Obviously, if you could reference a past life in this life, and you're in this life, and you look at that past life, say, I did that same thing, and the results were very similar. I'm not going to do that anymore. It doesn't work that way. I can do it over here and do it this way, make a few changes here and there, and then have it work. Right? For you, it's all that matters that it works for you. It's like all the judgment that we make about ourselves and others heighten and contract our body-mind, thereby lowering our manifesting vibration. The day we relax about the shortcomings of others is the day we also stop finding and focusing on faults within ourselves. As you learn how to stop hammering yourself for what should not be, you create a new space inside you to increase your vibration, experience yourself as the amazing manifesting being that you truly are. Judging, labeling, or putting someone in a box destroys your connection and intimate relationships. And a lot of people do it. Even before they get to know anybody, they do it. And when you spend time judging others, you are not able to see the divine nature of your partner, whoever. And where do judgments come from? Where do you think they really come from? Where do judgments come from? They are born from childhood programming. In fact, they stem from us rejecting parts of ourselves that we see in others. And when we feel emotionally upset at someone, look inside and remember that it takes one to know one. Heard that term before, haven't you? You cannot feel, see, or experience something in someone else unless it is also inside you. Anytime someone upsets you, they are reflecting that part you do not like about you. What you see as revolting or wrong about them is coming from your judgment of them and fear of becoming just like them. There is always a mirror to be seen. Free your mind from that inner judge and find what is lovable. You can only judge another if you have not accepted this same part fully about yourself. So what is it that needs loving in you right now? This part corresponds exactly to how you think others are lacking or wrong in some way. And as you become more intimate with your partner, the more he or she mirrors back to you those hidden and rejected aspects of yourself, which can result in an increase in judgments about your partner. Why do you think that, we have so many unfinished relationships, unattended to, on this planet? In fact, there's more that are than are not. This is why we haven't been making enough babies to sustain the civilization on this planet in this very now moment. Notice what you judge about others and listen for what your partner is teaching you about yourself. What are the lessons you need to learn about love, connection, and the magnificent truth of who you are? Thus, the first secret to dropping your judgments is to learning how to break out of the old habits of shoulding on your partner. Shoulding. Okay? Should, could, would. It's like you change the wording in the should statement. You take each should statement from the list, change the should to I want to, I will, or I am going to, right? So, for example, if your judgment is, he should be more loving, ask yourself the question, how can I be more loving? And write down the new empowered commitment, behavior, and attitude you want to implement in your life beside it. For instance, every time you start judging how your husband or wife avoids cleaning the house, I will send them light and love. If you're plagued by many strong judgments, your negative programming may be a bigger block than you realize. It is stopping you from seeing what is truly divine about your mate or partner, and is caused by a weakened heart-love connection with your partner. To remove the shield from your heart chakra is the best thing you can ever do for your life. It will allow you to become increasingly aware of the divine being that they truly are, even in the most difficult of moments. Relationships have to be good on this planet. And it starts with ourselves. Because we're not going to make any babies if we don't have a loving relationship with ourselves, so that we can have a loving relationship with others. It all stops with you. Heaven is to find devotion. Steve Perry, Journey. One of the biggest habits that may be keeping us trapped in unfulfilling relationships is not taking responsibility for how we feel. We're always responsible for what we are feeling. Nobody else can make you feel anything you do not want to experience. You don't care to experience. You always have the opportunity to choose a feeling of inner peace, joy, love, and bliss. Blaming is a way of denying your power to create every experience. It is a deeply ingrained habit that we do on such a subtle level that we may not even realize we're doing it. Start by taking 100% responsibility for your actions and how you feel. If you do not possess exactly what you want in this life, it is because of your vibration. It is not due to what somebody else has said or done to you at all. Only when you take responsibility for creating your feeling can you truly be empowered and take proactive steps, create changes in your life. Every time you blame someone, there is shame involved. You may eventually feel ashamed of your judgmental behavior, or the other being may allow in the feelings of being wrong and thus feel shameful. Shame and guilt are the lowest vibrations on this planet. They're both self-hatred in disguise, and only decrease our ability to manifest what we want. Now here's a few examples of messages people use when they're playing the blame-shame game. It's not my fault. You're the one who didn't do what you said you'd do. I wouldn't react this way if my parents hadn't been such control freaks. I was never a success because my father was never around. Oh, I can't go to the party because my husband's late night schedule. My life wouldn't be so boring if my partner would make more money. These are all what people have said. Maybe you recognize some of these. The easiest way to identify that you're playing the blame game is a feeling of powerlessness inside. The fastest technique to transcending the blame game is asking yourself, How can I take responsibility for creating what I am feeling? And what can I do differently about it? For example, in the event you are frustrated at your partner or for not making enough money, you would look at what demands and judgments about your partner are causing the frustration and what actions you could take to create more money. The greatest secret to overcoming the shame game is having both forgiveness and compassion for yourself and the other being. Starting a new habit is the only surefire way of completely destroying an old one. Commit today to send out lightness and love from your heart when others are blaming you. Realize that whatever you are feeling guilty or ashamed of is a judgment stemming from your perception and can be adjusted instantly by a good, healthy dose of warm compassion. Peace of mind comes from not wanting to change others, but by simply accepting them as they are. True acceptance is always without demands and expectations. Gerald G. Gempolsky. Now, there are two ways to effectively deal with negativity thrown on you from the outer world. The preferred technique is to become non-defensive, resist nothing, and let the negative energy play through you like a hollow flute. You put up any resistance to the situation, it is like throwing gasoline on a burning fire, which escalates and intensifies the situation. And by becoming a hollow flute, you are actually inviting the negativity to flow in and through your body-mind. And when you practice this, you remain centered and at peace with yourself. No actual harm will come to you since you are hollow, neither defending nor attacking. You, as the flute, may hear a few sour notes, yet harmonious melodies are always playing inside you beneath the surface. The hollow flute technique works well when you are not attached to nor over-identified with your ego. If you are unable to be hollow and flute-like, don't just stand there and let the other being's negativity penetrate into you and cause pain. When they are intensely emotional, perhaps yelling with insane anger or rage or throwing every judgment in the book at you, it is best you put up an impenetrable shield of light. Imagine yourself completely surrounded by a shield of white light that is 3 to 4 feet thick. Nothing can enter this proactive barrier. No thoughts, emotions, energy, or actions can penetrate its power. See their negative words and feelings bounce off your shield and become absorbed into the earth below. Look at the other being's eyes with compassion and love. They continue to become more and more negative, simply walk away. If you can communicate from your heart and feel safe behind your shield, you will rarely have to flee any situation. The energy of love is so powerful that the other will naturally be absorbed into it and completely transformed. Another technique in handling negative people is having healthy verbal boundaries. This is probably one of the most important tools you can have to stay empowered and establish supportive, loving relationships. When people become upset with you, speak your truth in a confident, loving manner. Some good phrases are, I will not spend time with you if you continue to be angry with me. I cannot be with you until you can speak to me in a loving, supportive way. If you continue to criticize me, I will leave the room. It is not okay with me that you are always arriving late to our meetings. These different, respectful, loving statements. People with negative energy, and this is a time on this planet where if you haven't, you will experience people with negative energy. And people with negative energy will disappear from your life once you set healthy boundaries and refuse to be a doormat for them. And when you stop taking on other people's problems, worries, negativity, your vibration will automatically grow to the next level. People can sense if you are the type of person or being who will engage with them at lower vibrational levels or not. When you are committed to using healthy communication with others, you naturally are attracting amazing relationships and people that support you. Falling in love, you remain a child. Rising in love, you mature. By and by, love becomes not a relationship, it becomes a state of your being. Not that you are in love, now you are love. Osho. Now, if there is one thing that can help you grow as a human being and expand your ability to manifest, is being in an intimate personal relationship. And when we say that you can manifest a relationship, we are not speaking about forcing someone to fall in love with you through manipulation. Love is not love unless it is authentic and free. What we are talking about is bringing your vibration up so high that you become magnetic and naturally pull that perfect compatible being into your energy field home. So people ask often if it is possible to sit in a room alone, vibrate at a high, joyful, loving frequency, and soon get a knock on the door from their soulmate. This is possible. It has been done before. Yet it takes an incredible amount of willpower and belief in your universal connection. Also, in order for this to work, your future soulmate must be a highly intuitive being that can feel your presence, have the courage, and take the initiative to knock on a stranger's door. It's happened. Okay? It takes a huge self-loving vibration that is free from the ego to manifest at this level. The teacher you need is the being you are living with. Are you listening? Byron Katie. The more practical way to attract the one into your home is a combination of daily inspired actions that explore who is out there and a continuous stream of inner peace, self-love, and self-appreciation. Your soulmate will show up when you can truly enjoy being with yourself and appreciate all the parts of you, including all the unwanted and wacky parts. And when you stop criticizing yourself, living in guilt, regretting your past mistake, harboring resentment, give yourself space to appreciate who you are now. This harmonious inner space creates an energetic opening in your life to receive Mr. or Miss Wonderful. Many people sabotage their ability to manifest their ideal mate because they are too attached to a fixed idea of the perfect one and cannot feel what it is like to connect with them. And the moment you let go of your attachment to the idea of a perfect soulmate, you open up your manifesting channels to let the one into your life. We each have many soulmates, and only one is right for you at this moment of your journey. This is the one that will show up at the right time. They may not necessarily fit your idea of the perfect being, yet they will be the ideal lifelong teacher to take you deeper inside. If you have trouble meeting the one, use this manifesting technique to attract the right kind of being to you. Okay? The best relationship is one in which your love for each other exceeds your need for each other. Okay? Best relationship is one in which your love for each other exceeds your need for each other. Dalai Lama. This is all, it blends together. It starts with you. I've always said that. Everything is you. You establish a loving, deep, eternal loving relationship with yourself, you're going to have one with someone else. And you'll have a different perspective with all things on this planet. But being hard on yourself and ridiculing yourself from past wounds and things that have happened that occurred from childhood all the way through adulthood, it lowers your vibrational frequency. And guess what? It doesn't happen. You may have these encounters throughout your life, but have you ever noticed they're short-lived on the emotionality? And then most people feel trapped, blocked, cordoned off, depressed, all these things. Okay? And see, where we're heading to New Earth and a God-planet paradise, you don't have room for that. It won't be. Because this planet is transforming into a deep, eternal, loving planet. And God-planet paradise. So this is why these meditations are done every day, 365 days a year, year after year, so that people that gravitate, they listen, and they begin to become more aware of who and what they are. They transition from the ego mind into heart mind, and then one step at a time, they spend more time in heart mind than ego mind, and then one step at a time, they master ego mind through their heart mind, and then they bring the ego mind within themselves to peace. Ego mind finds peace, and it is no more. That's all it's ever looked for to begin with. In all the lifetimes that you have been in so far, and the one that you're in now. Join you in the meditation. I'll return and close us out. a slow, easy breath in through the nose. And a slow, easy breath out of the mouth. Remain still. Relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath rising and falling. Your greatness, greatest life, feels like a leaf floating down a slow, gentle river. Let it deliver you to the ocean where you'll effortlessly manifest all your greatest dreams. If the river should get too rocky, just take a little breather. Relax on the soft, sandy beach. Gather all your courage to put away your paddle. Sit back in warm, soft sand and enjoy your time being free. Don't try so hard in this life. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Friday, January 30th, 2026, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you nor outside of you. Open your heart, allow the deep eternal love, bliss, joy, happiness, peace, tranquility to come flooding in.